All right, hello people from the internet. Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, I'm glad to inform you that I updated the BIOS of the computer. Something that I pretty much never like to do because it's always dangerous if like there's a blackout or something. Um, Bam! Now your motherboard is bricked, and yeah, that sucks. But I did it anyway because I figured that it would help with the crashes. And after that, I reinstalled Deadlock. I uninstalled it so I didn't get tempted into playing it to get crashed. Um, but I reinstalled it anyway, and I played 4 games, and it didn't crash or blue screen or anything. So it may be fixed. I would like to believe that it is fixed. Um, So I'm playing in my desktop. No Steam Deck stream for me today. That's a good thing. This is a lot more comfortable because I do get 2 monitors if I stream like this. With the Steam Deck, I only get 1 monitor. Not the Steam Deck monitor. I get like an external monitor because I have a hub and I connect the monitor to the hub, which is the same monitor that I'm using today, but only one compared to two. It's kind of inconvenient. Um, a while ago, I mentioned that I bought an adapter, but I messed up with the adapter, and I bought like an HDMI adapter, and it needed to be DVI. Didn't realize I only had one HDMI port available. So now I need to get a DVI converter, which is a shame. At least they're not that expensive, but it does take a while to arrive. Didn't go with the friend? No, I mean they do it every Tuesday, so I didn't really feel like going out today. I can do it next week. Yeah. Um, anyway, we are going to continue. Last time we were done with Swamp. Yes, we were done with Swamp. And now we can go do Bolts or Snake. Didn't catch all of the card talk is working again. Yeah, I think that like what I ended up doing was I updated the BIOS of the motherboard and it hasn't crashed yet. I played Deadlock earlier today. It worked out fine. Didn't crash, so yeah, seems to be going okay. If it blue screens today while I'm streaming, that would be quite inconvenient, but I highly doubt that will happen. Um, Whenever I'm not doing anything, like whenever I'm not playing a game, it is cool enough, like the card is cool enough that the fans are not running 100% of the time. I also got some software to monitor GPU temperatures and stuff like that, and it seems okay, so it's not overheating or anything. Um, yeah, I think that we are fine. I think that we don't have any more trouble when it comes to the computer. Ah, nice that if you have Graveclaw on the quiver, it tells you the amount of charges that it has. Back to work for the card. Yes, yes, absolutely. Gelsgabot should be in G for Gel. Really useful. Because not only can I use it to deal damage, but I can also use it to reposition monsters into being standing in the bog. Man, what a beast spell Gelsgabot is. Uh, I am a huge fan of the spell set that I have. that is like what I mean is Gelsgabot and Bog as well, and of course Ignite Poison, Toxic Radiance. Yeah, it's a pretty nice combination of spells. Gives me a lot of AoE damage. A lot of AoE damage. It is pretty ridiculous. And I also have some burst damage as well. If I really need to, like I can slam the monsters into the walls. Mystic Blast also pushes them back into um, the bog or into a wall. Thunderhooks are scary. Yeah, we're doing pretty good here. It is nice to have bog, actually be able to put it to use in this place. Sometimes it is pretty awkward to use that spell here. Um, how much damage does that do? 4 dice of 9 times 2. Hmm. Maybe I should get more Earth Magic. Also, haven't really mentioned it a lot throughout this playthrough, but it feels nice to have a large amount of HP for Deep Elf standards. Normally, Deep Elves don't get this amount of HP. The robustness has been quite useful. So I only just recently noticed that I got followed by someone called Sivir Mythmain, and my first thought when I realized that the name was Sivir Mythmain was who was playing Sivir Myth, let alone main Sivir Myth. That sounds very painful. Pushing the Thunderhook away may have been a mistake. No, it may not have been. It for sure was a mistake. Okay, at least I didn't get sapped, and I get to teleport. That was a pretty bad position for me to be fighting on, because the arena was set up in such a way that it was very difficult for me to bog. And without bog, I'm not killing the Thunderhawk fast, and if I'm not killing the Thunderhawk fast, it is killing me fast. Since I don't have the resistance, it can kill me in like 2 saps if I get unlucky. Which I am going to get unlucky because it is Crawl that we are talking about here. This guy just marked me twice in a row with a 26% chance to succeed. That's a kind of hex power that the player straight up never gets. It's crazy. Harpies are annoying since they fly, but there's not that many of them here, so should be fine. Being marked is not really that scary because, well, you see how mana efficient what I'm doing is. So it's not like I have to worry about running out of mana. Not to mention that I also have access to to Behemoth, which is giving me mana on kills, and I'm killing a lot of things here. So, but there is a thing that we need to be worried about, and that is the Thunderhawk, because the Thunderhawk blast can be dodged, but I'm not dodging it with 10 evasion. 43 damage. It's terrible. I wish it wasn't in the game levels of bad. Um, how poisoned are you? Okay, you're extremely poisoned. Please die. Okay, we killed the Thunderhawk. What do you do? Force Lance. That would be inconvenient right now. It would really hurt me. Get Force Lanced. 21 damage. Alright, we're fine. We're still marked, so I am interested in getting out of here. There may be no more enemies in this level. Oh, okay, there was a Bolt Sentinel who was asleep. Who immediately proceeds to mark me. I don't know how they managed to do it with such consistency, considering the fact that I have a willpower item equipped. I feel like that very much shouldn't be the case, but what can you do about it? That's a scroll blinking, and now we have two in the inventory. Pretty good. That is a Thunderhawk, and that's pretty bad, especially when, with the setup that we had there. But fortunately, I was able to close the door for the Thunderhawk not to hurt me. Okay, I decided to push the Thunderhawk away with Mystic Blast. Fortunately, I didn't get punished by that decision. Wait, I have LRD. LRD is great versus that kind of enemy, the gargoyles or constructs like that. What's the description that the game gives to monsters with that glyph? Yeah, those are all nines. But I want the game to tell me what a 9 is. I guess that they are constructs or um, golem-like creatures, like BB, Iron Golem, lots of golems in there. Not everything there can be LRD'd. Like, for example, I know that the electric golem cannot be LRD'd, but I also think that servitors cannot be LRD'd. Most others are, however. And that's the kind of thing that if I was playing in tiles, I wouldn't be able to tell like at first glance. For example, and an example of the contrary, I mean, a lich looks skeletal, but you cannot LRD it. But in console, it looks like a capital L, and you know that you cannot LRD capital Ls. Yeah, stuff like that. One of the many reasons why I still play console. So yeah, Particle Phase is the second to last combo. What Perseverance? I would not be able to do that. I don't have that kind of patience for this game. How am I? I am doing well because I got the computer to turn on. So that's definitely quite nice. Not only that, but I also got it to to play Deadlock. I played 4 matches and it didn't crash. So I feel like we're fine. I just have to update the BIOS. That's my guess. My guess is that I only had to update the BIOS. Okay. You have 12 Earth, 12, 11 Ice, and let's make it 12 Ice. Why not? I had 14 because I was using that spell, Rhyme Blight, but it is supremely disappointing. For a level 7 dual school spell, it really is just like worse than Irradiate. I think it was a Spin Dart who said it yesterday. Like, is it too much to ask for a level 7 dual school spell to be better than Irradiate? Personally, I don't think it is the case. Shafted into bolts 4. But we should be fine. Do these fly? No. So I could do that on them, but I also don't need to do it. I can just kill them like that. It's not a problem. Alter Guardian dies pretty easy. We got 12 Ice Magic, 12 Earth Magic. I like this post-Conjurations era for offensive magic, where you are not committed to conjurations. Like back in the day, all the fun kill dudes spells were conjurations. And if you wanted a spell that needed or like that could kill things, it was almost always going to be a conjuration. Very rarely they weren't conjurations. But now there's so many that are not conjurations and that are actually reasonably high level. To the point where the conjurations ones are not really that good in my opinion compared to the new ones, which is pretty cool, I think. Um, Hopefully nothing changes about that because I like the way that it is right now. I guess that we can get like 10 or 12 dodging or whatever. Ichor stained leather armor and a diamond ring. Well, I'm gonna get the Randart, of course. The Tengu River is annoying because it flies, and because it flies, I cannot really kill it with Bog. Bog will, however, kill everything else here. Okay, fortunately the Tengu River was low enough that I could kill it easily with Ignite Poison. This thing says 9% chance to ruin the day. It also flies. Sphinxes fly, I'm almost certain. Yes, they fly. Despite its appearance, it can open doors. So we cannot bog it. Am I marked or something, or why am I being pummeled by enemies here? I'm not marked. Strange. Is -2 fighting even bad if so many other skills you like to train have big apts? I feel like it is kind of bad. But yeah, most of the skills that a Deep Elf wants to train are +1. And by that I mean like the magic skills are +1. Um, Necromancy is +2, Hexes is +3, but the ones that you actually want to train for are +1. Dodging is +2, Stealth is +3, Ranged weapons is +3. Not that you would like to use a bow over, leveling up intelligence and casting some nice spells. Things are getting pretty bad here. Okay, this is a much more convenient spot to be in. Except for the fact that one of these guys has a launcher. That's pretty bad. How is this guy not poisoned? Did you see that? That was crazy. Ranged aptitude makes the deep elf berserker a lot easier. Yeah, I suppose that I would ever recommend anyone to play that. But if for some reason you want to do everything, every combo, um, it might be how you do deep elf berserker. Bam! Slammed right into the wall. Okay, and during that fight, I did get marked. To be fair, I did teleport into the Bolt Sentinel while I had minus willpower, so it's fair that I got marked. Terrible combos are honestly fun exercise for playing more cautiously than you normally need to. I feel like I always play pretty cautiously, and I get pretty hosed anyway. That's why I don't like to play terrible combos, because I feel like it's just more effort to end up dying. 'Kay, no longer marked. But of course enemies are gonna still keep pouring in because I was only marked. You're too busy out having not quite. I mean, you have seen what I play. I guess I do play a fair amount of OTAV. I like playing mages, but mages take too long for me nowadays. Except for Deep Elf. Deep Elf, I can play fast. I mean, kind of fast, all things considered. I still beat a melee character faster than I beat a Deep Elf. 12 evocations. My Wand of Paralysis has a 12% or a 40% chance to paralyze the Ejector Captain. Human Elementalist is still alive, but you're gonna start the Spriggan Berserker. Spriggan Berserker. Why? Once again, why are you doing that to yourself? I have had that thought a bit too much today. First with severe mid main, being a severe mid main, like why would you do that? And now human or like a Spriggan Berserker. Yeah, is today gonna be just a full stream of why would you do that? Because I don't know. At least it's you doing it and not me. Yeah, beautiful. Noxious Bog, I think, has been the MVP, just how Gelsgobot was the MVP in my previous run of Deep Elf Conjurer. I was not, I didn't remember that the last one was a Deep Elf Conjurer. I thought that it was a Deep Elf something else. If I had been aware, if I had kept it in mind, I wouldn't have started another Deep Elf Conjurer. Would have played like Earth Elementalist or something. Though I did try Wizard for a bit, but Wizard sucks. Wizard is such a bad background. Hopefully it gets removed from the game at some point. Doesn't even need to be replaced by anything. It could just be removed from the game, and I don't think the game would be uh, worse off by that removal. Ouch. 25, 29. It's a lot of damage. You died on D1 to a band of endoplasm goblin and ball python. See, the thing is that you can almost always run away from those things. That is the worst part about Spriggan, that you can run away from things, and like you get to prolong the suffering because it's not like, oh, I run away because it was a bad fight. No, you run away because it's the average fight. Most berserkers on D1 would just completely steamroll that, right? Spriggan berserker, well, you die, and it is pretty rough. In the very beginning, and you didn't want to run into unexplored areas. While that is a valid, like a valid reasoning on most other species, on Spriggan, it doesn't matter. You're literally faster than anything that you could possibly find in the game. At least at that point in the game. So if you find more things, you can just keep running away from them, and running and running and running until you lose them, or until they forget about you, until you find the downstairs. That also can happen. I found a staff of earth. I could wield it since I am doing permafrost and an LRD. Oh, the staff of the meek on D4. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have used it anyway, so I guess it's fine that I didn't notice it. So unfortunately, by unwielding that, I lose my poison resistance, but it's not like it is a problem in this part of the game. I'm gonna have to re-wield it when I go back to Snake, but it's fine. Midgard. Midgard is a property that only that staff has, which says the following. It provides extra protection to wielders with little health. I think it gives you double the armor class if you trigger the protection effect if you have low HP, you know? You guess. I'm almost certain that's how it works. It is very whelming. I mean, it is not terrible, but it is very much a weapon more than a staff, and we're not really weapon users. We have never been with this character, and we're never going to be a weapon user. Not with force strength. Maybe a dexterity weapon, but even then, why would I use weapon when I can cast spell, right? Warlord. And where there is a warlord, there's often a warlord band. This warlord has a tropa, and I got a tropa. That's pretty bad. Okay, we got 12 dodging. I didn't even notice um my evasion going up, but it was at 10 and now it is at 15. I was blind. I guess that blind makes it so that you have a hard time, like you have less accuracy. I think it's like short-sightedness more than blindness. Um, but it doesn't matter since I am specifically using spells that do not check accuracy. Um, let's see. From these spells, what uses accuracy? Nothing. I think that the entirety of my spell set doesn't care about accuracy. That's so nice. Nice enough to wear the Amulet of the Air, which I normally don't like. It is one of my least favorite items, but if I got it, I would probably use it considering my spell set. Yep. It gives you an accuracy, reduces the accuracy of your attacks and spells, but it is another magic enhancer, which I wouldn't really use. Gives you flying, resistance to electricity, and repel missiles, which, yep, the last three properties are the reason to equip that. The air enhancer, I don't particularly care about. Wow, Deep Elf with the warrior title. That is immoral. I gotta train more spellcasting. You cannot have a Deep Elf be a warrior. That makes no sense. I have never swung a weapon at anything. Deep Elf Knight. So we're getting to the part of the game where I am consistently running low on mana during fights, which is a little bit spooky. Definitely not a fan of that. So I would like to find an orb of energy, which I have not found yet. Right now I'm using a buckler of reflection, which I found on the floor. You have an orb of channeling. What is that? What is channeling? Is it that I can evoke it for mana? Also, what is fire? Is fire like a fire enhancer? Man, I have so many questions. I definitely want to check out that item. Get over here, Frederick. Step on the Volgo. Ouch. It's fine. Goodbye, Frederick. Man, a bog is such a busted spell. It is absolutely bonkers. It may return the magic spent to cast the spells, but lowers their success rate. Okay. Orb of Channeling is like Sif Moon at Channel. That's what I thought. Like Sif Moon at Channel. Um, but it says that it's just an orb of energy. Like it may say channel, but it is actually an orb of energy. Yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day, orb of channeling was like you activated it and it could give you a large amount of mana. I think that the Wukat Mu still does that. Let me look it up. Oh, this one says it often returns the magic spells to cast the spells but lowers the success rate. Does this say often? No, this says it may, so I guess it's not as good as Wukat Mu. It increases the power of your fire spells. I do have Ignite Poison, which now it is full power, but I also have Scorch, but I'm not really using Scorch anymore. I was using Scorch until Permafrost came to be, and now, I mean, why would I use a Scorch when Permafrost is kind of the same but deals a lot more damage? Same targeter, but just does a lot more damage. And I guess we can drop this. I'm not really gonna use that anymore. We can probably drop the War Axe as well. I don't see myself wielding it. Definitely get rid of the Scroll of Silence. We are not using that. Cirque can go away. And I think we're good. Okay, that is all that I need to drop. Looks like a complex spellcasting build. Not really. I mean, we are doing mostly alchemy, alchemy and ice earth because we're using bog, ignite poison, and permafrost to kill things. That's like the bulk of my Kildut's abilities. I also have Ghost Gabot, which I haven't really used a lot, but I love this spell. In case you didn't see the last round where I used it, it briefly reorients local gravity to be in a cardinal direction of the caster's choosing, causing all creatures inside to tumble a short distance in that direction. The caster is not immune to the gravitational effects of this spell, but will be cushioned, so they take no collision damage. Our creatures are not so fortunate, and the abrupt impact will batter anything which was not already standing beside its new floor. Um, you cannot spam it. It's really, really funny. It's fantastic. It is a translocation spell that can kill things. I like it a lot. It's easily one of my favorite spells, and it's only been in the game for one version, but it is quite good and quite fun to use. Okay, Phantasmal Warrior, Dispel Undead. Yeah, the spell that I have on the quiver is Permafrost. Permafrost just places an explosion on a random monster. It tries to target groups of monsters. So like it tries to be as efficient as possible, but I don't target it. And because I don't target it, I can just press the quiver once and it shoots the spell, which speeds up gameplay quite a bit. I think this might be a time for Girls Cabot. You can see how, like, depending on the direction that I aim it at, it highlights different monsters. Those are the monsters that would take damage from it. It doesn't always just deal damage with to everything. Were you having problems with your PC? Yeah, I was having blue screens and stuff. Yesterday I streamed off the Steam Deck. First time ever that I stream off the Steam Deck. It's good to know that I can, at the very least, stream crawl off the Steam Deck. Um, so we have that as an emergency resource. If my PC was to die, I could continue streaming with the Steam Deck. What was happening was that I was getting blue screens and stuff while I was playing Deathlock, and now I'm not really playing Deathlock at the moment. Of course, I'm playing Crawl, but I had one blue screen after like yesterday I got it working, and then immediately afterwards, like as I was celebrating that it was working, it blue screened, and then I had the idea to update the BIOS. And after the BIOS update, I have not had any problems. I even played some Deadlock earlier today for games, and no blue screen. There was one crash, but it was a very minor crash. Like right after I finished the game, the game crashed in like the end screen of the match. Um, so yeah, you could say that we are fine now. Hopefully, we don't have any more issues with blue screening or hard crashes. How is the Steam Deck? You've been thinking of getting one as it's coming to Australia in about 2 weeks. It's it's a pretty useful thing. I don't really use it that much, but that is because I have access to my computer. However, if you are out a lot and you feel like you're out in situations where you would like to be doing something, the Steam Deck is probably a really good device to have for that kind of situation. I have it and I like having it because I can take my Steam library to friends and family, so we can play multiplayer games and stuff like that. Um, Also emulation. If you want to play alone, you can set up some pretty good amounts of emulation in the Steam Deck. It is quite a wonderful device for that purpose. You know, Polter Guardians are one of the most difficult things for this build to kill because they have good resistances. Well, not really. They have one pip of cold resistance, but they fly and they're immune to poison. So my best way to kill most enemies is poison magic. And if a monster is immune to poison and flies, that means that poison magic is completely useless against that kind of monster. You got absolutely Sprigand and got +2 gloves on D3. Yeah, let's go. Another reason why I don't like Spriggans that much, though it is not as exaggerated as it is for a cat, they are still affected by the whole, oh, I found cool gear that I cannot really use. Um, and to a certain degree, Ogre and Troll also have that um, particularity to them, but it's not as bad with them because at least they have good HP and uh, they're not as much reliant of running away from fights as a Spriggan is. So yeah, it certainly is nice to be back to streaming with two monitors. Um, I have my usual setup of OBS and the chat in one monitor and the game in the other monitor. I sure missed that yesterday. But yeah, yesterday was a very important day for the stream because it was once again the first time that I ever streamed on the Steam Deck. Very important to keep that in mind as a resource. That means that I could theoretically go places, and as long as I'm carrying the Steam Deck, as long as I have the Steam Deck with me, and of course an internet connection, I could stream. Well, I guess electricity is important as well. You got a second monitor working now. The thing that happened yesterday was that I was streaming of the Steam Deck, and the hub that I have only allows me to use one external monitor. So I can use the Steam Deck's monitor and one other monitor, but I was not really in a position where I could use the Steam Deck's monitor or the Steam Deck's screen as a monitor. If I was to set that up properly, it could be a nice monitor for the chat and OBS. Pretty much the same that I have it, or like the same way that I have the other monitor in my normal setup. Okay, that is it for bolts. I could go to bolts 5 and press Bog, but last time that I tried having fun in bolts 5, very bad things happen, so I'm not going to test my luck again. Instead of that, let's take a look at the spells that I have. I have Crystal Spear, Ignition, and Firestorm. How come I didn't get... Like, why did I get Crystal Spear, Ignition, and Firestorm? Jeez, those are some bad spells to get from Behemoth. I don't think we're putting any of those to use. Um, yeah, nothing too interesting for me on my normal spell library. These are all the spells that I have come across in the game. I can learn any of them, but you can see like the failure chance. Um, you can Most of them I cannot read. Well, most of the ones that I would be interested in casting, which are the high level ones, I cannot really cast unless I train for them. Um, but none of them are particularly appealing to me. Like I tried the Rime Blight last stream yesterday, and I didn't really like it. Do you have immolation? I do have immolation. I guess I could, but it is super dangerous. But I could still do good old toxic radiance immolation plays. I would need to put on this ring of 2 pips of fire resistance for that. But it is doable. Anyway, I guess that we are going to be doing Snake now. After Snake, I think maybe Elf is the next thing to go for. Lots of snakes, but Noxious Bog gets the job done. Isul, yeah, nothing here flies, and if nothing here flies, we are going to be able to destroy it all, to destroy them all. without a lot of problem, without a lot of danger. Um, I do have to say that having a sharpshooter at the edge of the screen is a little bit scary. So I'm just gonna get out of there, go back in. That's two sharpshooters. All right. I was not certain that with my level of tankiness, which is very, very low, that I was going to be able to deal with that. But fortunately, the sharpshooters decided not to be as problematic as they often are. Um, that is a Bath Serpent Talisman. Yeah. And the difference between the font that I have in Putty and the font that I had in the console in the Steam Deck is noticeable. The font that I had in console is Hack. That's what the font is called. And the font that I have on the Steam Deck, or like in the normal computer, is Lucida Console. I think I prefer Lucida Console, but it may be just like matter of being used to it. As I said yesterday, back in the day, I used to use Hack more than Lucida Console. I just didn't know that it was Hack. Otherwise, I would have gotten Hack when I made the switch from Linux to Windows, like 10 plus years ago. Mm, we got a Ring of Poison Resistance. We could take off the Ring of Intelligence and wield the Staff of Earth, but no, no, no. There's no need. I can just keep going with the Staff of Alchemy. They do NetHack with this font. Yeah, I'll do that next year. I already committed to playing at least one winning game of NetHack next year. Bring you NetHack. I promise I'll do it. Um, we shall see how much fun I have with it. My guess is gonna be close to zero fun, but I can try it. And if I find that it is a little bit fun, then that's gonna be nice. And I'm just gonna wait for the next year for the fun to recharge. We're gonna use File of Lots on Nicola. Yes. Beautiful. Gets rid of Nicola, no problem. You'll do one NetHack win per year. Next year. Yes, one next year. In June. During the June NetHack tournament. And no more than that. I'm a bit surprised that it's been like 3 or 4 turns with this Guardian Serpent in the screen and it hasn't completely eradicated me yet. Very happy about that. You've been having a lot of fun with Shatter Pixel Dungeon. Funny thing that you mentioned that because um I have it installed in the Steam Deck. Since the Steam Deck is Linux, I was one day playing around with the shop or like, well, not the shop, but like the repository in the Steam Deck, and I found that I found Shadow Pixel Dungeon and I downloaded it. I still haven't played it, but I'll maybe give it a try one of these days if the opportunity arises. I wonder if I can play Shadow Pixel Dungeon with a Steam Deck without like connecting a keyboard. If not, the Shadow Pixel Dungeon developer should think about that, like controller compatibility. What am I using to teleport around? I have a setting that, well, to begin with, Crawl has auto explore. So I press a key and it auto explore and it stops me at my next fight or when something interesting happens. Um, but I have a setting in my settings file that removes the travel time. So the traveling does happen. I just don't see the animation for it. That's why it looks like I'm teleporting around. There is also a setting that shows you where you came from, and I also have that off because I'm not particularly a big fan of that. Yeah, it's just how to explore. In terms of turn count, I play pretty slowly in terms of turn count because I like to clear everything except for the floors that I do not clear. Um, Ifs of Code 1.0 on December 5th. I don't know if I've talked about COD in the channel, but like I read some more on COD, and it really, 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 really sounds like something that was not designed for me. Like it is not. I can almost guarantee now that it is the kind of game that you will never see me stream because it's just not the kind of game that clicks with me. I like games where like it's not like a journey, it is like a beat 'em up. Now I want to play Streets of Rage. Talking about beat 'em ups, um, where the games where I am presented with a challenge and I oh, hold on, someone's giving me a call. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Now, what was I saying? Caves of Code? Yeah, it is very much not for me. I like games where you have the tools and you have a clear objective and you go from the start to the end towards that objective. That I enjoy very thoroughly. Crawl, Rift Wizard, even my non-roguelike games like Streets of Rage, which is not even it's not a roguelike and it's not a roguelike inspired game. It is its own beat 'em up arcadey game, but it still fits that criteria that I need my games to fit in order to find them interesting. And COD, yeah, COD doesn't do that, and that's fine. I'm not saying it's like a bad game or anything. It just isn't a game that I have any interest in playing. Um, going downstairs into Bashnia Band in melee range too. It was a little bit miraculous that I didn't get grabbed. I guess that they don't melee me. Do they have the Master Archer tag? I don't know. Let's look it up. Brochcom Postband? What is that? Would you say it's similar to Cataclysm? No, it does have a Master Archer tag. Um, I think that means that it will not unwield its bow to hit me in melee. If it's within melee range, it will just continue shooting at me. Whoa, this is getting pretty scary. All right, that was bad. I didn't die, but there was a very real possibility of me dying there, and there was not really much that I could have done other than blinking away. Maybe after blinking, because I did go upstairs and then I blinked and I landed here. Maybe here I could have used Ghost Gobot over here. That would have broken line of sight, dealt damage, made me reposition so I could go downstairs much better. Yeah, that was definitely a play that I should have thought about. Talking about using Elsgabot, that was definitely not the moment to use it. Okay, things are pretty scary now. Okay, we blink. Oh, anacondas are so scary because they're really fast. They're almost twice as fast as you are. So they very easily gain ground on you, and you cannot. Well, they constrict you as well. So if you get next to them, they grab you. You get host. From Compost Band is an Angband fork. I have never ever played Angband either. I know of it because I know of all the classic roguelikes, NetHack, Angband, Adom, that kind of thing. But I have not played a lot of them. I think the time for me to play them was when I was um, when I was young and still exploring new roguelikes to play. But now I don't feel like I would have a lot of interest in playing them. COD does have a main objective, but you'd say it's closest to a defined Dwarf Fortress adventure mode. Hangman made many innovations to the genre, probably inspired Crawl. That is something that I like to hear, because that was one of the main or that is one of the main concerns that I have with like old-timey roguelikes. Um, that they just don't age particularly well compared to the improvements to the genre that things like Crawl and now Rift Wizard have made. um, I especially like how refined Rift Wizard is because it gets rid of all the I don't want to say lore because it doesn't get rid of the lore. It just presents it in a way that is much more reminiscent of the way that Crawl does it. But like the focus of the game is the combat, right? And the combat is done beautifully, and it is balanced very well, and it is always engaging and interesting, and it is not unfair. Yeah, I genuinely do think that Rift Wizard is the jewel of the genre, like the pinnacle of the genre. I've called it that multiple times in the past. Um, and I feel like a lot of the old-timey roguelikes are just not in that level. Like they try to do many different things. Like I've heard that NetHack is was designed with the idea of it being like a single-player D&D campaign, which yeah, I mean, if you know D&D, you know that it's not like a particularly well balanced game. It's more like an experience than a game, D&D. Which is not a bad thing, but I mean it is kind of a bad thing if you're looking forward to playing a game, more than having an experience. Also, that kind of experience is probably more fun with a group of friends anyway. Short blade melee Spriggan Berserker is not so fun so far. Yeah, the key is berserking everything and playing it in a version that allows you to berserk everything. Wow, I blinked randomly and I blinked into the trap. That's crazy. All right, I like the transmutations gameplay a lot. I gotta try a warper after this. Maybe Leap of Warper. I hope that warper starts with Momentum Strike. Momentum Strike is a great spell, and I feel like a warper should get it. Yeah, so far so good, and we already have 2 runes. We are approaching the end of the character. You never consider versions coming? Versions coming? Versions coming? Come on. I mean, one of the best things about Crawl is that if you strongly disagree with the changes that were enacted in a certain version, you can just not play it. You can play it on an older version, or since it's open source, you can just fork it and make your own. Um, which it very clearly is not something that a lot of people do because not a lot of people know how to do that without it being disastrous, of course. But it is something that you could do if you want to acquire those skills, or you could just play an earlier version. Um, yeah, I wouldn't really consider it cheating or anything. Versions coming, especially not if you're playing off the server as you are. Like you're playing local crawl, right? Yeah, in your case, it's even more not a problem than usual. But I mean, at the end of the day, you do what you feel like doing. That is, I guess, the point. Um, but anyway, we are going to go do elf. Man, I feel like it's gonna destroy me because we don't have resistance to electricity. But on the other hand, I also destroy the elves pretty fast. Who is gonna win? The elf with 150 HP or the elves with like 40 HP or so? Yeah, let's see how much this Mancer has. Oh, well, I typoed and I accidentally killed it. um, yeah, around 40. Of course, they're not gonna kill me before I kill them. So we don't really have a lot to be worried about as long as I keep shooting Permafrost. Permafrost seems to be one-shotting them quite consistently. Oh, you mean just picking a different version to make a specific run easier to win is a bit cheesy. But what do you think about picking a specific version to enable a playstyle that has since been removed from the game? Because I have done that in the past. I think it was 0.12 where you could play Mommy Summoner of Sif Muna or Mommy Ice Elementalist of Sif Muna and spam Sif Muna channel, which was piety cost free. And the way that you would do that is you get a summon and then you spam the summon. Back in that version, summons didn't have a cap and they attack things outside of your line of sight. So the only limiting factor was that kills from summons give you less experience and of course your mana bar. But if you go Mommy of Sif Muna, Sif Muna gives you channel, which costs food, but mommy doesn't have a hunger clock, so it's free for a mommy. And yeah, so you just spam summons. I have won characters like that before, um, which it is a pretty gimmicky way to play the game. Not particularly fun, but like an interesting thing to do exactly once. It's kind of like winning NetHack in that regard. You do it once and you have done it all the times. You have done it all once you win it once. Old Venom Mage start. Specifically, I don't know what version it was. Was it 0.25 or so? It was before food removal, I'm almost certain. There was a version where Venom Mage started with Ignite Poison. And in that version, Ogre Ogre Venom Mage was so busted. It was the best combo in the game. Yeah, it was so good. Okay, so far Elf is going fine. I thought that I was gonna have issues with the Mancers because I don't have the resistance, but hasn't really been the case. And I guess we also haven't run into the high level elves. Those could also be quite worrisome and problematic. The best resistance in Crow, after all, is a dead enemy. Yes, of course. The ultimate defense in this game is overwhelming offense. The kind of offense that allows you to put a level 9 spell on the quiver. And by a level 9 spell, I mean Firestorm. Specifically, Firestorm is the most quiverable level 9 spell. You cannot really quiver Polar Vortex. Shatter is not the greatest when it comes to mana efficiency. Um, Firestorm is where it's at, in my opinion, when it comes to quiverable level 9 spells. So if you can put Firestorm on the quiver, you're almost guaranteed to win at that point. Um, so my new glasses that I got a couple of months ago, thanks to your support, lost a gum. You know how glasses have a thing that goes in your nose. One of those gums that rest on your nose is gone now. Like I think it got like eroded off and it fell, and I don't know what it is. And even if I found it, doesn't matter anyway since it broke. I need a replacement for that. I don't know how feasible it is for me to acquire a replacement or make it. But next time I go to where I have them made, I'm gonna ask if they sell gums for the glasses. Probably gonna buy a ton, so I don't have to go um, every couple of months if the gum getting destroyed is like a trend or something. But it's not as bad as with the other glasses. The other glasses literally broke. I still have them. Mm, yes, I still have them. I didn't throw them away. Let me see, because I gotta take those pictures of the glasses. When I got them done, I said that I was gonna take a picture, and I never took a picture. I don't know where the where the old glasses are. Where are they? Where did I put them? Hmm. Hmm. No idea. I thought they would be a lot more easily accessible. Because they were resting on top of my computer, but since the graphics card thing, I moved things around, and now I don't know where I put them. But anyway, let us continue. Ah, Zephyrmancer with distortion. Fortunately, we are capable of one-shotting it with permafrost. Lately, I've been listening to the Mars Volta. Does anyone here like the Mars Volta? I feel like maybe Enon would like the Mars Volta. Um, yeah. Not the first time that I listened to the Mars Volta, but it finally clicked. Um, yeah, I had heard them before, and they hadn't clicked with me yet, but now they very much have clicked with me. You have a 4% chance to ruin the day. Okay, good to know that it's only a 4% chance. So it should not happen, right, Crawl developers? It's not gonna happen. Not that it is much of a problem anyway, since I'm one-shotting them quite well. Oh yeah, With the Staff of Earth, Permafrost does 2 times 4 dice of 13. That is so much damage. Alright, let's see what the Bolt has for me. Yeah, I like how Permafrost is semi-consistently one-shotting the high-tier elves. Um, Very clearly, I do not really expect it to keep doing that when it comes to the Master Archers and the Blade Masters, since those are the ones that have the most amount of HP. But it's doing pretty well versus the ones that are not like tanky. Yeah, there we can see the first Blade Master, and this one has 104 HP or around that compared to the 63 of a Sorcerer. Okay, Master Archer, Annihilator. Okay, pretty good. Really good so far. You berserked against a water moccasin on d5 and died before taking off more than half of its health. Oh man, yeah, it's pretty rough. Spriggan Berserker is not, it's not fun. Um, you're gonna have to spam not only Berserk but Throx Hand as well. If you see anything that could look a little bit dangerous, you probably should use Throx Hand. Plus, Zero Short Sword is not fun. Absolutely not. Do you get a choice of weapons when you start a Berserker, or do you always start with a short sword? Because if you get a choice of weapons, you could consider switching to a Falchion or something. Mm. This ring that I just got is not really that fantastic. I wonder how much evasion it would give me, but like at the very least it would give me like 6 evasion, maybe 7, or like if I get especially lucky 8, but I think it's probably gonna be like 6 or 7 from my training in evasion, but nah, nah, I'm better off with the things that I have at the moment. You can choose your pick short sword because it's a dex weapon and it has the best up +1. Yeah, try a long blade. Ooh, ring of resistance to electricity. Yeah, I am in. I can throw away intelligence for that. We don't really lose any permafrost damage. Mm, Guardian Spirit is the opposite to what we want. Ah, that's a +10 bardiche. What a beast weapon. Where did you get that from? The Street Giant Spike Cloth of Holy Wrath. Uh, if I was playing Anoni, I would be very, very happy to have found that. Maybe if I was playing a Formicid as well. You know what? Like I'm starting to feel like I want to play more Crawl. More Crawl than I have been playing. I think that I have gotten to the point where I can play a decent amount of Crawl without being super burnt out on it. So I might play more. I might play more often than just once a week or so. Yeah, if I'm starting to feel frustrated with it, I can definitely dial it back. But like, for example, now like I'm thinking, oh, I want to play a Formicid, but like, do I want to play a Formicid like a week from now? Not really. I feel like I could play a Formicid maybe maybe on Friday. You know. which is nice. Like that's definitely something that I've talked about in the past, where I like what crawl allows me to do when it comes to streaming. I just had issues because I couldn't play as much crawl as I would have liked to make good stream content, but now I feel like I can probably play a little bit more. Um, Wait, this doesn't give me poison resistance? I mean, it has the alchemy enhancer and an earth enhancer, but it doesn't give me poison resistance. It gives me fire resistance. Or Miss of Che? I don't know. I don't know about that one. But I could do a Formisid. Anyway, this staff enhances everything that I'm doing, and it gives me a little bit of fire resistance. Unfortunately, it doesn't give me poison resistance. I hope that's not a problem. So yeah, I would say that we got some really good gear from this, and I haven't even seen it all yet. Oh yeah, we got some good gear from doing Elf. I got resistance to electricity, and I got the staff that I have right now. This beautiful, beautiful staff. What was the ring that I got recently? It is a ring of resistance to electricity, 9 mana, and 3 strength. The important thing here is, of course, the resistance to electricity. The 9 mana is nice, but it never is a property that like makes an item. It is always just like a nice topping on an otherwise very desirable item, which is exactly the case this time. Yep, pretty much only resistance to electricity. Um, which we didn't have, and it is kind of important to have it. So yeah, pretty good. Now I need a third rune. Where are we getting that third rune from? Man, can I do bolts 5? No, you know what I should do? I should do slime. Everyone knows I should do slime. Um, Everyone knows I should do slime. But before I do slime, I should put on this ring of resistance to corrosion. We can take over the ring of resistance to electricity. Nothing there hits me with electricity damage. Are these poison resistant? They are poison resistant. Everything here is poison resistant. They don't seem to fly. The secret, only play terrible combos as other species, so the normal humans are extremely fun in comparison. Did you go back to your human? Yeah, now that Particle Phase is almost done with um, the entire library of available combos, I'm gonna ask what is the most painful combo? At least for particle phase. For me, it would be something cat related. I haven't even tried the new cats, and I don't really have a lot of interest in doing it. Particle phase did it. Yeah, it was particle phase already done because last time I checked, which was earlier today, um, he was still 2 combos away from having everything. What a grind! You know, it's almost like 900 combos, and winning a combo like it's not gonna take you 1 hour to win a combo. So it's not gonna be 900 hours. It's gonna be more time than that. It's crazy to think about. So much time. Probably the entire time that I have in crawl, like the accumulated amount of time that I have in crawl, would be the amount of time that you would need to do such a challenge. But I know that I couldn't. I would get burnt out by the second cat. I could play mummies. I could play um, most combos that are like rough, because not everything is easy, even if it's not a cat, right? But playing too many cats would definitely make me not play this game for half a year. Yeah, pretty much. What I'm trying to say is that I would never be like, oh, you know what? I want to play a cat today. No, no, of course not. That's never gonna happen. If it happens, assume that some imposter took control of the stream. I can guarantee that. In all of the time that I have been streaming, I have never once felt the desire to play a cat of my own volition. Um, I played the cat because someone donated like $80 for me to do it, and I did it, and that was nice. And then I played another one, but I don't remember exactly why I played the other one. Oh, I know, because I was playing another account and I wanted to win everything in another account. I think that's how it was. Particle Phase won 825 unique combos. 160 of them are not playable anymore. I guess the Meteoran and the Heal Orcs and stuff like that. No, I almost never play random characters. I choose them, very much choose them carefully to be as least painful as possible. Yes, I wouldn't be able to handle playing random characters. That is too painful. Okay, Slime 5. Yeah, before I took my break, I was into playing random characters, yes, but I was doing that because I was kind of out of ideas for things to do with crawl, and I didn't really feel like there was anything that I could do with the stream that was not playing crawl. But now I don't mind. Like I'll play crawl whenever I want to play crawl, and I want to play whenever I don't want to play. And that I think is definitely the correct way to approach the thing. Um, the whole streaming ordeal. Well, I got quite corroded there. Also, there is a whole gang of slimes waiting for me in the other side of that of those stairs. It's funny because in Spanish there is escalera, which is technically stair, um, but in English stairs are pluralized, the staircase. Um, So you would say those stairs. I guess that staircase also works. I am gonna try that staircase. Okay, I'm getting poisoned quite well by the jellyfish. Okay, we're doing fine. Okay, royal jelly time. I have 9 haste. I think that the royal jelly is worthy of respect this time, and I'm going to use haste. But I don't think I need brilliance or other things. I think only haste will get the job done. Worst case scenario, I can run away because of haste. Jelly is never worthy of respect. I don't know. Oh, what is that emote? Flanta? Fantastic math. And it's a flan with a jiggle. That is fantastic. I'm a big fan of jiggling flan-like things. In fact, I've said in the past that if I ever get to the point where I could think about acquiring a VTuber model, I would just have the Jiba altar be a VTuber model. I would like it to not have tracking, but I would like it to have incredibly strong jiggle physics that get activated by my voice. So like if I change my voice in a certain way, like it would jiggle like crazy to reflect something that happened in the game. I would like to have a model like that. I don't even know if that is possible or how difficult it is. For all I know, it might be easier to make than a normal VTuber model with like um, tracking. You should abandon this run out of shame. You tried to start on the troll high clubs and netting out on the downstairs to work too. All followed you up, you used fear but lost distance later. You were followed point blank range planet in a troll. You just walked to the stairs out of work, barely didn't get killed by attacks of opportunity and randomly gained a tile when you stepped on the stair. I mean, you gotta take those. Sometimes you take those. That is a game keeping you alive. Why not just keep yourself alive? Oh, I got malignance. That sucks. Technically, the worst bad mutation because it gives you two bad mutations, but sometimes the bad mutations that you get from malignance are not really that bad. And in this case, for example, I have robustness and I don't want to lose it, so I think that I'm just gonna roll with the malignance mutations, hoping to not lose robustness. I am dealing so much damage. Yeah, this permafrost deals so much damage. It's crazy. Not particularly fun. I do have to say that it's not like a very fun spell, but it is very powerful. And I guess not all spells need to be fun spells. Um, I would find it less fun if the spell was like weak. Pearl scales, by the way. I wish I could use them. Yep, encumbrance rating 11, and I have 4 strength, so pretty much unusable. But they are widely considered by the community to be the ultimate armor for mages because they offer the protection of plate. They're literally as protective as plate and as enchantable as plate, but they are significantly lighter to the point where having 12 or 13 strength would get the job done. But yeah, we're at 4 strength. We are kind of beyond salvation when it comes to being able to use that. Oh wait, that is a ring of poison resistance plus, so I might as well grab it. You still absolutely hate malmutate enemies, which is weird because you love demon spawn. Well, the thing about demon spawn is that you will get good mutations. The malmutate enemies will give you bad mutations on the other hand. Chaos good versus chaos bad, right? Chaos where, oh, it's fun and exciting to not know what good thing is gonna happen, but something good is gonna happen. As opposed to, oh yeah, like no matter what happens, it's gonna be bad for me. Um, the staff of the vestibule of hell with poison resistance. I mean, I think I like the one that I have at the moment. Acquirement. Maxwell's patent armor, which we obviously cannot use. Not for multiple reasons, we cannot use Maxwell's patent armor. It is very heavy. It makes it so that I cannot cast. Yeah, those are the two reasons. It's very heavy and it makes it so that I cannot cast. So if I was to put it on, I would have like negative evasion, literally negative evasion, and I would also not be able to kill anything. So yeah, that sentence to put on Maxwell's. Um, you could use more consumables to make the escape not an instant gamble, and you don't have to stare down the stupid monsters in the first place. Yes, minor inconvenience to game ending. You hope you found a potion of mutation to fix it. You remember a screenshot where someone on a crawl Discord got 2 good mutations from an orb of fire. That has happened to me. I have had orbs of fire give me fire resistance, which is really funny. It is super duper funny. You get, or like robustness as well, I've gotten from an orb of fire. But obviously, more often than not, you just get berserkitis or like bad stuff from orbs of fire. Um, I think orbs of fire are the malmutate enemy that no one has issues with because its only purpose is not to malmutate you, but it also can directly kill you through fire magic. And it also is very tanky. But on top of that, like because if it was like that and it could spawn in more places in the game, it would be a supremely hated enemy. The saving grace is that it spawns in like the final level. So if you're dealing with orbs of fire, it's because your game's not gonna be going for much longer. So that's what makes them palatable, in my opinion. Yeah, the Wrath of Droch. It is an on-Randart battle axe, which is extra berserky. Yes, it's a 50% chance to berserk when I make melee attack. Um, it also extends the wielder's berserk range when killing foes. So it is an anti-magic battle axe, but it is a special anti-magic battle axe. Anyway, none of these acquirement options are interesting. Nope, nope, nope. I'm just gonna get the gold. Yeah, I mean, just gonna get the gold. You remember when these star mutations were permanent? I never got to experience that. You know what? I don't even have to fight those. Now that I have 3 runes, I guess that we just do depths. Welcome to the depths. The classic um, ruined door bolt into showing you loot without showing you the absolute hell that you would have to go through to get that often pitiful loot that is only a little bit attractive because there's a Randart um, and yeah, sometimes Randarts are good, but yeah, I'm not gonna open a ruined door bolt for a Randart scale mail on a character that already has crystal, not crystal, pearl scales, and cannot even wear them anyway. I'm not close to leveling up a stat. My next stat level up is all the way until 27, which we're probably not going to reach. So I don't know how one would do that, how we would get more strength. Maybe, like, I was thinking replace Ring of Protection with Ring of Strength and find, like, Globes of Strength as well. If those 2 things happen, I could consider training and wearing the pro skills. But I only have 4 enchant armors. Yeah, I only have 4 in the whole game. It wouldn't even be particularly amazing. Wait, that is an ice dragon. Okay. We found another enemy that we have issues dealing with. The form of the ice dragon. It flies, it's poison resistant, and it is cold resistant. So none of the spells that I have are particularly fantastic against it. Except for Ghost Gobot. Ghost Gobot is pretty good, but situational. Very positional. I think I called it the most positional magic spell ever. And yeah, like not only does it depend a lot on your positioning, it also depends on the positioning of the monsters. Um, I got Berserkitis, but I don't care because this character is not meleeing anything. In fact, let's just inscribe this with don't attack so I don't accidentally trigger the Berserkitis. Um, what is the likelihood of berserking with Berserkitis? 3%. I mean, that is annoying if you're meleeing hundreds of thousands of times per game, but we're not in that position. Cool, um, cool tiles for the walls. We found Waibidut's Tremendos tomes. I wonder if these tomes are gonna be like tomes with really fancy spells, with really cool spells, or if they're gonna be tomes with like 9 spells each tome. Let's find out. Okay, it is the latter. It's 3, 6, 8 spells. Are you seeing walls that are in console color the same way as walls out of line of sight? Not that I can think of. That would be quite confusing. Gonna check all of these. See if we can find a spell that I would like to add to my repertoire. Um, I already have Firestorm and I'm not really training for it. Oh no, I overtrained fighting, and now I have a fighting title as a deep elf. I feel like lightning is gonna strike me because I have a fighting title as a deep elf. I feel like I did something very wrong. Okay, okay, you know what? You know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. It might be the only time in my life that I have a fighting title as a deep elf. Yeah, sure, let's just get 27 fighting. It's not like I need to train anything else to win the game, really. But I didn't want to have a fighting title as a deep elf because, of course, not. We have Fridge here. I could buy that one for Fridge. Um, Disjunction. I could get Disjunction. Destabilizes the space in a sphere around the caster for a while, causing anyone nearby to blink away from the caster. The chance of blinking depends on the distance from the caster, being nearly certain when directly adjacent. Um, it's a buff that you have for a couple of turns, and it makes it really painless to ninja the orb because one of the greatest pains when it comes to ninjaing the orb, to getting the orb without killing everything, is that things are gonna be running in front of you between you and the orb. Like that happens so much, and with Disjunction, you just move them away painlessly. Um, there's your immolation insurance. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get that. I never use it, but now that Ghost Gobot is a spell that exists, I am more likely to actually be close to being able to cast this junction by the time in the game where I find it. So yeah, I think it is this one. Yeah, it is that one. Linking accompaniment. This one has Fulsome Fusilate. Okay, I want that. I of all the new spells, I think that's the only one that I have yet to try. The Fulsome Fusilate one. Oh, this one also has Fulsome Fusilate, but it is expensive. It is more expensive. Okay, this would be a very funny book to get. Like if I could get if I have to go through the entire game with only one book, this would be a pretty good book to do that challenge. Stone Arrow is fantastic. Searing Ray is pretty good as well. Mystic Blast is fantastic. Like I'm still using it. It's got utility and it's got raw damage output. Sticky Flame also combos very well with Mystic Blast. Just Sticky Flame something and then Mystic Blast it away. Battle Sphere. Battle Sphere is okay. Stun Arrow Battle Sphere. Auto Destruction to kill big HP monsters. Hellfire Mortar for mana efficiency. And Fulsome Fusilade I cannot tell you about because I have yet to try it. I could buy all of the books right now. No, I'm short a little bit of money to buy them all. But even if I did, I don't really have the ability to cast the spells, so might as well get some translocations skill. At the very least, I can cast that. Or we could also get alchemy and conjurations. Um, yeah, so I can cast Pulse and Fusilate as well. In fact, maybe I should focus on Pulse and Fusilate because I have not used it. I also haven't used this junction in a while or maybe ever. But I want to use Pulse and Fusilate a little bit more. Why am I slow? Oh, you have Kirare. Wow, I miscast Permafrost. It's got a 1% chance to miscast. It's pretty unusual. Okay, that went very well. In case you didn't notice, I used Girls Go Bot as a way to kinda control teleport in such a way that it was much easier for me to reach the stairs. Um, that went very well. That's something that I like a lot about that spell because it does damage, but it's also a utility spell. Which is not something that Kroll does that much, but I like that they did that with that spell. I hope that more spells can be like that in the future. You leave for a bit, and now I'm out of slime. Slime is pretty fast. It is like a sprint straight down because um, slime is flavored in such a way that no items generate in any of the floors before the end, because the slimes have already eaten everything up until the final floor. Um, and the loot in the final floor is protected by walls, by like translucent rock walls. So when you kill the royal jelly, those walls disappear and you can grab the loot. And at that point, the slimes don't eat anything. Um, they don't actually eat anything anymore. That was removed from the game a couple of years ago, but that's how it's flavored. Did you get the slime rune? Of course. That's my rune number 3. Any Jiva enjoyers in the chat? Yeah, there's one that's streaming right now. A Jiva enjoyer. Jiva is fantastic. I should do a Jiva run as well. You know, I have been going for the whole game waiting to see Mana Region, an Amulet of Mana Region, and once again we have not found one. I would love to see one, definitely, but it hasn't happened and it may not happen at all. Caustic Strikes are quite scary. But fortunately, they have their main weakness is their low armor class, and we can definitely take advantage of that with LRD. They're also not poison resistant, and also not resistant to corrosion, so we can use those things to deal with them. This feels like a little bit of Bolts 5 that generated here instead of generating in Bolts 5. Oh no, I could have prevented that too. I hope that is not much of a problem. You will forever campaign for Jiva in Temple? I hope not, because Jiva in Temple would require Jiva to be nerfed quite a bit to be like on par with the other Temple gods. Um, so yeah, I like Jiva because Jiva is powerful. And if Jiva got nerfed, I wouldn't really like Jiva that much anymore. Um, I would still like the old altar, not the new altar. I don't particularly like the new altar. I feel like it is too ornate for Jiva. We got Statrot and Berserkitis. Not as bad of a malignance mutation as we could have gotten. So we're fine. Okay, we kill the Lich. We kill the Frost Giant, and yeah, we kinda have to get out of here. I'm gonna step on that to avoid any accidents. Like to avoid any accidents of me retreating from the vault and then like having a monster step on that or something like that. Might as well get rid of it in a controlled way. Okay, we don't want the Ring of Evasion, of course. Um, we don't have space for that. And once again, I feel like maybe it is time to play an Octopode as well, since there's been a couple of runs that I've had pretty fantastic rings on, and not really the ability to use them all because I'm not an Octopode, I'm a Deep Elf. But I also want to continue playing Deep Elves. Deep Elves are so good. I enjoy them quite a bit. Now the game knows I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna play Octopode and generate no good rings. Yes, that is the eternal cycle. Play other species, get a million good rings. Be like, okay, let's play Octopode. Play Octopode, don't get any rings. Um, Man, there was one time where I was playing Octopode and I got literally 8 perfect rings, or like 7 perfect rings, I think it was. 7 perfect rings, and the 8th ring was like whatever. It wasn't even like a bad ring or anything. It was just not the best ring for my character, but it did provide some like upside. But the other 7 rings, I think I had like rings of protection and intelligence and evasion. It was pretty good. Yeah, when you have a good Octopode run, you have a good Octopode run. It is quite enjoyable. Graveclaw cannot miss, right? Spells that cannot miss are fantastic. And that one is an early game spell that cannot miss, which is definitely quite a desirable property. I'm gonna put on this letter of willpower because it's gonna give me more armor class. Um, Okay, I still have like everything is perfectly castable, courtesy of Behemoth. Um, yeah, we're fine. Also, I have noticed that with the Ring of Resistance to Electricity, I have 7 strength. 7 and 6 is 13, so I could technically consider wearing the Pearl Scales. But with 4 Scrolls of Enchant Armor, it is kinda not worth it. Maybe if I had more Scrolls of Enchant Armor. Yeah, oh, with only 4, who knows? Maybe I find a treasure trove and it gives me like 8 Scrolls of Enchant Armor. That would certainly be quite neat, quite something indeed. Yep. That was definitely a little bit of Bolts 5 that generated here. Definitely a little bit. All of these guys fly or are immune to poison. The undead, of course, are immune to poison. So Bog doesn't really do a lot to them. Which is a shame because I have been using Bog quite a bit, and it's already getting to the point where it's just not that fantastic anymore. It's still pretty good, but just not as fantastic because we are encountering more and more enemies that um, are highly resistant to it. Yeah, lots of almost death monsters, but almost death means entirely capable of killing me. Okay, Tin of Tremorstones did quite a lot there, killed a lot of things. Not bad at all. Okay. The spell on that gets rid of that. Yeah, the spell on that gets rid of this leech. Beautiful. Why am I fighting so many things? I think that I am fighting right in front of like a super nasty bolt or something. Yeah, at least there were not like no ancient leeches or anything too nasty. If this was indeed a bolt. Oh, how am I enjoying the usage of the spell on that? Like, if there was something good to come from the failure of Rhyme Blight earlier in the character's life, was the fact that the levels of Necromancy did not really go to waste because I'm using the spell on that, and the spell on that is good. Like that is good. I would say that it is straight up better than Rhyme Blight. Um, like a lot more situational and awkward to use because you have to be within melee range, but it does what it needs to do, which is undodgeable, unresistible, large amounts of damage. Rhyme Blight, I mean, I guess it is undodgeable, but it is resistible in the sense that the damage can be reduced by cold resistance, and it doesn't even guarantee the kill on whatever you use it on. I feel like it should just never wear off. If the developers are too reluctant to buff it in a more direct way, which I feel like it should just do more than it currently does. But if they don't want to do that, they could just make it so that it never wears off. I feel like a level 7 damage over time spell that never wears off and is guaranteed to kill the monster is not terrible because it's a single target thing. And it also is like a damage over time thing. That is another important thing to keep in mind. Um, The part where it is damage over time makes it different from another level 7 big damage spell like Orb of Destruction, because Orb of Destruction is very bursty. Um, yeah, with Orb of Destruction you cast it and it does a large amount of damage whenever it does finally connect with the monster. But Rain Blight would do slow damage until the monster eventually does end up dying, which it doesn't do now. Now it's like sometimes it does one shot the monster, but sometimes it doesn't, and you just don't know. That's very much not great in my opinion. Hmm. Not the greatest time to not have poison resistance, let me tell you. Let me switch to this real quick. Yeah, it's a lot of enemies. Must be another bolt. Yeah, let me go back to my ring of resistance to electricity because we have some spark wasps here. I don't know if you have noticed, but during that fight I dropped really low on mana. But fortunately, Behemoth got the job done, and now we are at 25 mana, which should hopefully be enough to deal with these guys. How much? Yeah, 15 alchemy, 12 conjurations. I think that it might be worth it to check for Fusilate. Yeah, it's a 13% chance to fail, and I feel like it could be a really funny spell for me to be using in certain situations like this one. So it's time to get it. How exciting! A new spell that I have not used ever. When it comes to the Iron Dragon, I'm almost certain it doesn't fly. So, we yeah, we can kill it with Bog, which I haven't used a lot for a bit. I just have to position in such a way that I can, actually cast it. Cannot cast it in there. Okay. The main problem that I have with this bolt is, of course, that the layout is quite inconvenient for the purposes of fighting things. With my current build, of course, with the options that I have. Yeah, that's not ideal. Okay, Gil's Gobot has control blink. Oh, the Golden Dragon is almost dead. I should probably just finish it off. Excuse me? I blinked the Titan next to me? I mean, I knew that there was the possibility, but the chances were tiny for the Titan to be blinked next to me. That really sucks. Yeah, that is a problem. Okay. The Divine Tome casts a smite, so we are gonna get smitten 3 times next turn if I don't immediately break line of sight. Almost certain that stepping here is good. Yeah, because we don't have Gels Gabot yet. Yeah, I cannot Gabot. I was thinking of Gaboting over here, right, in this direction, but it's on cooldown. Probably for 1 or 2 more turns. I'm probably gonna use a scroll blinking, though it is quite painful to do so since I only have 2. In the whole game, I think I found 3, maybe 4. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And what I gotta do is go get Fulsome Fusilates. Yeah, maybe there's a book that has Fusilates for cheaper. Nope. No, those are the only books with Fulsome Fusilates. Unfortunately, I can get all the books that I want now. Fulsome Fusilates. 11% chance to miscast. 3 to 5 dice of 20. I don't think I'm getting rich. I mean, I can probably cast it no problem, right? Um, yeah, 5% chance to fail. I can already cast it. Disjunction is the next thing to get. I'm not gonna get it immediately. Once again, I'm just gonna wait until I can cast it. The Fiery Phlogiston. What is a Phlogiston? Your reign of reagents ends. Not bad. Did I miscast it? Okay, this is a Minotaur Berserker Ghost that hits for 38 plus 19. I think that we have a good chance because we have Dispel on Death. Let me read Permafrost real quick. Or like not Permafrost, Wholesome Fusilate. A magnum opus of reckless chemistry, this spell conjures up a surfeit of volatile reagents to rain down upon your enemies. For the next several turns, up to 3 random enemies inside will be struck by an exploding beaker that inflicts either fire, cold, electric, or poison damage. If any of these explosions overlap each other, the resulting reaction will inflict even greater irresistible damage and sometimes apply a random deleterious status on whoever is causing the blast. I wonder if that means me. This spell costs a small amount of the caster's magical energy each turn to maintain. While it will never aim an explosion where it could hurt the caster's allies are not so fortunate. Okay, but who cares about allies? There we go, easy peasy. Unfortunately, these are enchant weapons and not enchant armor. Yeah, we are holding onto a lot of enchant weapon in this game. And by holding, I mean it is in the floor. Enchant weapon. Yeah, if all of that was enchant armor, you think I can go back to PC streaming? I am streaming in the computer. Funny thing that you didn't notice. But I am streaming in my PC. This is not Steam Deck streaming. Yeah, I guess that if you didn't notice, it is really that interchangeable. My my Steam Deck setup and my PC setup, which is pretty good. That is not a bad thing at all. It would be no noticeable if you watched in more than 360p. I don't know. If anyone was here yesterday and today, do you notice any noticeable like differences in the stream? Yes, do you notice any noticeable differences? Doesn't last for very long. Pretty good. Pretty good. Steam Deck stream had black bars on the sides. Must have been. You'll check. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I mean, I guess you can do it if you want to. It is always pretty funny to have a Juggernaut in melee range and have it not completely delete you from existence. Because they have the damage output to be able to do it, but they very rarely do it. Like you're gonna get hit for like 40, 50 damage, and that's fine. But getting hit for the whole 120 damage that a Juggernaut can do is pretty unusual. Like I don't think I remember ever being in the receiving end of that anyway. Didn't? It's fine. Yeah, I have exactly the same setup for capturing the stream. Like I have my console and I also have a browser window that is loaded by OBS. So the browser window is not actually open in my computer, but it is open in OBS. Or like OBS has a browser thingy that it captures, and that's how I capture my tiles gameplay. Like I just expectate myself in tiles while I am playing in console. Okay, I don't know where all those slimes came from. Must have been just like a random slime band, which can generate in depths. It is pretty rare, but it can generate here. Anyway, I have 3 runes, so I guess we just keep going. BB and a death cough come into view. That could be problematic. BB is super immune to poison. Um, well, not really super immune. It's just normally immune to poison. But what I mean is that BB cannot have the poison effect, and even if I could poison BB, BB has poison resistance or fire resistance, so ignite poison wouldn't really do a lot. But I blow up BB anyway. Simple fight when you have 3 pips of fire and cold resistance. Yeah, not so simple when you don't, and when you're fragile as a deep elf. But I did have LRD, which made it quite possible for me to kill BB. Okay, I have no mana. I'm just gonna get out. Running into BB first thing when entering SOT is kind of inconvenient. Yeah, and this is really, really awkward. I might die by going upstairs. I am almost certain that I shouldn't go upstairs. Do I like ghoul or vampire? Um, I liked ghoul for a little bit. Now, not so much. I don't like that they have the cannot regen when enemies are visible thing. That is super inconvenient, pretty awkward. Um, Vampire. I don't really care about Vampire. Vampire has been pretty problematic throughout Crawl's history. There's been quite a lot of reworks to Vampire. Um, so yeah, no wonder they're gonna get removed. They're probably among the least played species. I wonder what they're gonna be replaced with. Anyway, I think that the developers are on a roll when it comes to species added. Coglin, the Deep Elf buff, Oni. So yeah, they're probably gonna replace them with things that are a lot more exciting and interesting to play with than the gimmicks that Ghoul and Vampire has. Skeletal species. Got a miscast of Ignite Poison there. Oh wait, that is seriously bad. Yes, that is really, really, really scary. I would say that a fast and strong Bunyip is scarier than a Juggernaut. Yes, absolutely. I also think that they don't have as much cooldown on their attack as a Juggernaut has. Yeah, attack 33%. Um, oh no, they have the same cooldown as a Juggernaut. Some forks have on that status as a character modifier, like how Orc status is now. Um, I see as a background, right? Like I remember Mommy and Vampire being a background in certain forks. Okay, we kill a Bunyip. We kill another Bunyip. That was really scary. Yeah, going downstairs and taking 80 damage immediately upon going downstairs was bad because, of course, there were no other stairs, and yeah. But then having the second Prothean progenitor turn into Bunyips, that was really scary. I didn't get hit, and it was still really scary because I am almost certain that if I had gotten to the point where they were next to me, I would have just died, like straight up. Kind of wish that Fulsome Fusilade lasted for a little bit longer. I have to say that I don't feel like it is as fantastic as some of the other spells, but it is not on the level of like it doesn't generate the same level of distaste that Rain Blight did. So yeah, I'm liking it, but I'm not loving it. Maybe it's because low spell power, but I don't even have low spell power. Look at that; it's at 64%. So I don't know what's up with that. Also, I'm using an enhancer, so yeah, no idea. You didn't follow the combo that closely, so not sure. Sounds interesting. Also on that of different kind. Basically, playable white. Are you gonna start with a +5 battle axe? Because if so, I'm interested. This is quite enjoyable. Also, I really like how Permafrost is a really good spell for dealing with Orbs of Fire. Not that we have found any, but um, often one of the main worries of a mage is how am I going to deal with an Orb of Fire? And this character, I'm almost certain, is not gonna have that problem. How exactly am I out of mana? Yeah, I guess that Fools on Fusilate is not particularly a mana efficient spell. Just add Rift Wizard background to replace Hedge Wizard. Oh, it would be pretty cool. How would that work? Mm, I feel like it would need to be a species more than a background. Um, and the way that it would work is that you would just get to start the game with a whole spell library. Yeah. What downsides would a character need in order to not be super busted that you can start the game with the whole spell library? Bad magic aptitudes, perhaps? So you can get whatever you want, but you really have to commit? Eh, the background that starts with the Rift Demon Trident. Yeah. That wouldn't be quite much of a wizard. It would be a Rift Fighter more than anything. Hey, spin-off game. Take notes, Dylan. Rift Fighter. Rift Hedge Wizard. Oh no, not Rift Hedge Wizard. That would be terrible. You know what's nice about Norb of Energy? That you get back your whole mana. Well, not your whole mana, but you get back the mana that you used if you get a miscast. So it's not nearly as punishing as it would be on most other characters to get a miscast. Oh, it turned into a Bunyip again. Man, Bunyips are probably the scariest thing that those can turn into. The Prothean progenitors. I like them as an addition to Sot because they are a dangerous enemy. Um, and they are pretty weird, which definitely fits the flavor of Sot, being full of dragons, draconians, and weird things. Like Corpse of Fire and Killer Clowns and that kind of thing. What do you think Sot is? A weird place full of weird things? Or do you mean Sot because the concept of Sot is not like a unique thing to crawl, funnily enough. If you search the Learn database, which I am going to proceed to do immediately, give me a second. Um, Yeah, if you search the Learn database, there's an entry talking about the Gnomish Wizard Sot, which is flavor text from another game that is not Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. I'm almost certain too that it is a game that predates Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Knowledge bots. Let's see. I can I don't. Oh, the Wizard's Castle. That's what the game is called. Many cycles ago, in the kingdom of Endik, the gnomic wizard sought forged his great orb of power. He soon vanished, leaving behind his vast subterranean castle filled with Assyrian monsters, fabulous treasures, and the incredible orb of Sot. From that time hence, many a bold youth has ventured into the wizard's castle. As of now, none has ever emerged victoriously. Beware, all right, bold one. You may be an elf, dwarf, man, or hobbit, your choice. The game was released in 1981, but that is the origin of Sot. It is a gnomish wizard. There you go. You can read that yourself, and you can probably search for the game if you're interested. Um, I wonder if it's a roguelike. Local willpower. The thing here is that my resistances are critical. Is that a thing? Is that a word that exists in English? Let me look it up. Because in Spanish that exists, but I don't know if it actually exists in English. Let's take the time once again to broaden our vocabulary. What's the word raquitical? Um, does it not exist? Oh, hold on. Wikipedia. Let's see, Wikipedia in like the same page but in English, because I already found it in Spanish. Maybe in English. Rickety. Rickety is the way to say it in English. It's exactly what I was thinking of. Rickety. Yeah, a pretty rickety character in terms of resistances. All right, that was 18 conjurations, 18 alchemy. Now I think we get a little bit of spell casting and a little bit of translocations, so we can cast Dispersal. By any chance, in my journey, have I found Dispersal? Is there a roguelike where you search for Amulet of Sot or Orb of Gender? Okay, I was like, Amulet of Sot. Like it took me a bit to detect what was wrong there. But yeah, now that I have seen it, I cannot unsee it. I don't think so. I think it's always the amulet of Yendor or the orb of Sot. Um, Maybe Rift Warrior could have an amulet of Yendor or like an amulet of Sot or orb of Yendor, and it could switch around between runs. Washack? You know what I should play? Washack. Send me a link for that, and I'll look it up. It sounds like a NetHack port, or like a fork rather. NetHack fork. And if it's a NetHack fork, it's likely that I'm not really gonna find it particularly exciting, but maybe. Orb of Fate? The Herb of Fate is from NetHack. I remember that. People used to call it Orb of Weight because it was super heavy. Oh, WasHack. It is on Steam. Let's look at that. 10th anniversary update? Time moves forward only when you do in the dungeons of WasHack. Think your way out of problems instead of just spamming attack and drain healing potion. Well, that's definitely a way to appeal to me. Um, Inspired by NetHack. Okay. And I like the whole think your way out of problems instead of beat your problems brainlessly. Yeah, if I ever receive it, I'll definitely play it. Sounds interesting. NetHack has Amulet of Yender. Yeah, NetHack has the Amulet of Yender. Amulet of Yender is the main thing you have to acquire and then carry into the end game. Yeah, like the Orb of Sot. But what about the Amulet of Sot or the Orb of Gendor? I guess based on the lore that we just read about the Orb of Sot and the Gnomic Wizard Sot, we know that it's not an amulet, and that's why it's always the Orb of Sot. When it comes to the Amulet of Gendor, however, I wonder if there's deep lore for the Amulet of Gendor. All right, pretty good. We kind of dominated that Orb of Fire. Um, Orb of Fate is the Valkyrie quest artifact. It has somewhat questionable value. I think it helps physical damage when you're carrying it, and it also has level teleport. Like, I'm probably not right because it's been more than a decade since the last time I played, but I think those are its properties. But the downside is that it's really, really heavy, and because of that, it is like the things that it apports are not as good for characters that are not Valkyries because you can acquire quest artifacts. You can wish for them, and there's a good chance that you receive them. Um, but all of the properties that the Orb of Weight provides are provided by other things that are not as heavy as the Orb of Weight. Yeah, that's quite something, isn't it? Amulet of Gender. Gender is Rodney in reverse. Name of a friend of the developer. Yeah, I knew about Rodney. Um, okay, I might. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Why can't I turn into Yoctors? Yoctors are only scary if they have an Arbalest, and I'm almost certain that these don't have an Arbalest. First few times you played NetHack, you were so impressed by the crazy mechanics it has. Wishing, polymorphing, genociding, writing scrolls, Elbereth. Elbereth is not a crazy mechanic. The other ones kind of are. What about polypiling? Do you know about that? You can place a pile of magical gear and then use a wand of poly and polymorphing the items into different items. Um, I don't know how nerfed is that. Like, keep in mind that I last played that game like over a decade ago, and since then there's been some updates that may or may not have nerfed those things. But polypiling, writing scrolls isn't crazy, you think, but the rest are. I mean, writing scrolls isn't crazy from our perspective because it's like the least magical thing um, in those games, right? Like just writing something in a scroll on a piece of paper. But if you think about it in the terms of game mechanic, the power that you get from writing a scroll is crazy. It's like, oh, I figured out what this scroll is. Now I can replicate it as much as I want, kind of. The BD server. What is the BD server? Some people were doing sprites of a bunch of items of gender. There was a food ration of gender. Yes, the fabled mythical food ration. Legendary Pandemonium Pizza. Oh, the Legendary Pandemonium Pizza, I miss that. Can you open the gen door? The gen door. This feels really strong. I am having quite a good time with this character, which is a really good omen. I wonder what other spellcasters like I could play and I would have a similarly good time. Yes, I wonder if the fact that I am having fun, not phone, fun, is dependent on being a deep elf because of the mana region and the incredible aptitudes, and you know the whole shebang, right? Like the perks that deep elf has, and also Behemoth. Um, and I wonder if it would be fun if I played a different combination of species and god. If I was playing a mage. I don't know. I don't know. Could Tengu be fun? If I remember correctly, Tengu doesn't have great intelligence, right? Can I see the starting steps for? I can see the table of aptitudes, but starting screen attributes and stats. I guess this doesn't tell me what I want to know. Yes, it doesn't. Okay, I will have to look it up later, but I do remember that one of my main grievances with Tengu is its lack of intelligence compared to other mage species that I like. Specifically Deep Elf. The comparison between Tengu and Deep Elf will always be there since they're both on the fragile side of things. Um, in that comparison of Tengu versus Deep Elf, I've always been partial in favor of Deep Elf. Yeah, Tengus are not my favorite. Tengu Air Elemental starts with 8, 15, 14. Ugh. And when you level up, every stat can go up every 3 levels, right? That's not a bad staff. It's a pretty good staff, actually. It's kind of fantastic. Of course, the main downside of this staff is that it only has one enhancer, and that enhancer is one that I care not about. And because of that, I don't think I can use it. But the resistances are great. The 6 strength is great. Um, and the stealth is there, I guess. But yep, we're not using that. I should go buy. Yeah, I should just go buy this junction and learn this junction. It's got a 36% chance to fail. It is not a destructive spell, so Behemoth doesn't really help me cast it. So yeah, getting that castable is gonna take a while. I should probably stop training spellcasting at 22. Yeah, for the spell slot, and then yeah, I don't know how to feel about Fulsome Fusilade. I think that my main grievance with it is that it has no animations for the effects. And by extension, I feel like it's not doing anything, even though it is doing something. Um, I guess that some of my other problems with the spell is that it also it is damage over time. It doesn't really last for that long. I wish it lasted for a little bit longer. Oh boy, but when it does damage, it really does do damage. Look at that. Look at that. Golden Dragon took a lot of damage from Fulsome Fusilade here. Unstable reaction engulfs the Golden Dragon. You had fun with a few tangos before starting to overplay humans. How many humans have you won? Oh, that is a good ring. Yeah, that is quite the ring that we got right there. Um, if only I had more enchant armor. Let me inscribe these pearl scales with. Yeah, if I had found more enchant armor, I would have. Oh, I have a manual of armor too. Man, why am I not doing that? I really feel like I should probably be going for it. Um, I need to pick up that ring. That ring is too good to leave it on the floor. Deserves to be immortalized in a winning file that pretty much no one will see. Dispel undead on the death corpse. Not that much of a problem, but I also not that much of a fan of the Fulsome Fusilade spell constantly draining your mana while you have it on. Um, as I already said, it's not really that much of a problem, but it is like I don't know. I think that contributes a little bit to making it feel not as powerful as it could be. And of all the new spells, it's like level 8 dual school could be the strongest one. And it is pretty powerful. It does sometimes do a lot of damage, but I don't know. I cannot help to compare it with Polar Vortex, which is, I think, level 9 single school. And Polar Vortex wins that comparison pretty hard. You had fun with you have won 5. Fighter, Berserker, Artificer, and Fire Elementalist. 4 out of 5. And right now you're playing Earth Elementalist, right? Yeah, it's not gonna be hard for you to win Earth Elementalist. Because it does very well at the early game, which is normally the most brutal part of the game for a crawl character. Beyond the early game, you have resources and options to kind of pilot the character into a win if you play carefully. I mean, I am complaining a little bit about Fulsome Fusilade, but I don't really know how I would be doing this SOT without it. It's been a pretty significant part of this character's success in SOT. Pretty much every fight I find myself going for Fulsome Fusilade first thing. And sometimes it doesn't kill things like the Tentacled Monstrosity, and that is a little bit underwhelming and disappointing, but still pretty good regardless. Early game is the most comfortable for you because it's only about tactics there. When you need to start to go for spells outside of your starting book, that's when you're lost. And yet again, because every time that you say that, it comes to my mind, Jin, Jin, Jin. Have you still not played Jin? Or did you play it and you decided that you didn't really like it? Because if you didn't like it, then that's okay. But if you have not given it a try yet, yeah, definitely consider it at least a little bit. What are you? 50 plus 25 flame. You have about 1% chance to hit with the staff, and it has about 80% chance to hit me for up to 75 damage. Delightful. Okay, final level of Sot. Somehow we have 13 magic mappings and only one blinking. This is gonna be quite painful. Very punishing. We cannot really afford to make mistakes. In fact, we may not even need to make a mistake to be stuck in a bad position. It all depends on how, like if I hit a teleport trap or something like that, bad things are almost guaranteed to happen. So yeah, everyone, cross your fingers so that I don't die here. But if none of that happens, I think that we should be okay. Because this character is pretty powerful. Also, I'm getting disjunction. Disjunction is already at 14%. I'm not brave enough to do the thing that you could theoretically do with disjunction, which is just cast it and walk in and grab the orb and then just like hit a teletrap or something. Yeah, I feel like I would die trying to do that. So I'm just gonna kill everything. Ooh, look at that! Look at that! We found Tiamat, avatar of the Dragon Lord. Damage is the leading cause of deaths in the dungeon. Okay, so Tiamat flies. That means no Noxious Bog, unfortunately. Tiamat hits really hard, 73 plus Venom and 45. The 45 does not have reach, but yep, that's a pretty bad thing to see. I'm probably capable of winning. I have so much haste, I'm gonna use one. Tiamat completely resists? What do you... Oh, it's... I guess the plasma must be electricity damage. My Tiamat has a tail tile. Yes, Tiamat is one of those very few monsters which are a little bit taller than usual. I have 4 Brilliance. It's the final level. Just gonna use Brilliance as well. Okay, we beat Tiamat pretty convincingly there. Now, the Dragon Skin Cloak, uh, the last time that I saw it had a property that said that you have a 50% chance to get like any resistance, pretty much. Avatar Segis, it grants the wearer a chance to resist fire, cold, poison, electricity, acid, and negative energy. A chance. I think I can put it on. Yeah. You feel oddly protected from the elements, in the sense that it's not a guarantee that you're protected, but at least that gives me a little bit of extra armor class. Now I have 24. Yeah, Tiamat down. Tiamat is really powerful. It's a very scary enemy. But this time I managed to fight her with no support. Like she was alone. Oh, Quicksilver Dragon goes for the double Quicksilver energy? That dealt a lot of damage. But fortunately it was already really hurt from Fulsome Fusilade, so killing it is super easy. Okay, we got 18 translocations. I'm probably gonna need more than that. Yeah. Probably gonna need like 20, about 11%. You know, Gene is good for learning, but it's like you don't want to admit that mages are too hard for you. They're not. They're not. They're not too hard for you. Like, they may be too hard for you now, but I promise you that one or two late games of Gene later, they're not gonna be too hard for you anymore. That's the magic of Jin. And playing Jin also helps you get better at other kinds of mages. It is a beautiful species. Like, since it was introduced, it is like one of my favorite species. I wouldn't say my most favorite species. I think that my most favorite species is this new buffed Deep Elf. But it's gotta be top three. Like, I also like Oni a lot. Deep Elf, Oni, and Jin. Maybe Oni and Jin are like tied for second place, but Deep Elf is definitely my number one. Now that it is enjoyable again, because I like magic. I have mentioned it in the past, but I have not mentioned it for a good while. One of the things that really got me enthralled with Crawl when I was making my switch from NetHack to Crawl was how much more powerful, interesting, flashy, and exciting the spells in this game are compared to the spells in NetHack. In NetHack, it's like, oh, you shoot a beam of cold or a beam of fire. And when I started playing, those spells also existed in this game. But there was Shatter, and there was Tornado, and there was Firestorm, and there was Chain Lightning. What was the yeah, there was Ice Storm. Before Glaciate and before Polar Vortex, there was Ice Storm. And yeah, like the flashy high level spells were really cool to me. And Deep Elf is, the species that is best suited for making use of that kind of spell. So it was only when I started playing Deep Elf that I really, really was into Crawl, that I was hooked into Crawl. You think mages are a lot easier than melee? They are less punishing in a sense because when you realize that you have to disengage from a fight, you're not next to something and you're at half HP. Often you're not next to something and you're at full HP, but you're low on mana. So you can at that point you're like, oh, okay, I can no longer kill this, I should leave, and you make your escape, and things are fine. On the other hand, if you're playing melee, it's a lot more RNG than playing a mage, I think. Uh, you miss a lot, and yeah, it's like the complete opposite of what I just said for mages. It's much more difficult to spot when a fight is not going your way as a melee character than it is as a mage. In fact, I would say that it is kind of impossible to know ahead of time because you may be stuck fighting something that you have already killed like 10 times already as a melee character, and it just happens to be that this time that enemy gets good rolls and you get bad rolls, and now you're about to die in a situation that you have already overcome multiple times with no problems. Mages don't really have that problem, and if they have it, it's because they get a couple of miscasts or the monster dodges their spells. It's fine. You just get out, regroup, and try again. As a melee character, it's a lot harder to deal with that kind of situation. Could be easier tactically, but the whole thing with choosing spells to shape your character with is more complex. Yes, and Jin takes care of that for you. Melee don't have good options to get outside of Tele Scroll and Blink Scroll. If you encounter bad gear, then oof. That too. I feel like it's like with a mage, if you wanna have a good time, it's as easy as A, starting a Jin, or B, worshipping Behemoth. And both of those options guarantee that you're gonna have a good time. As a melee character, you don't really have that. There is no Behemoth equivalent for a melee character. Um, yeah, melee is probably something that needs to be looked at a lot, in my opinion. Mages are beautiful as they are right now. With the plethora of new spells that they have received, I think that mages have been buffed in quite a good way, and I'm a big fan of that. And I hope that they don't get like retroactively nerfed. Now do something like that for melee, maybe? Like an active ability that lets them get away from fights without relying on a consumable. That would be neat. And as long as it's done properly, it wouldn't be too powerful. Something like I've played Dumarel, or not Dumarel, I've played Jupiter Hell a little bit on stream in recent times. Something like the Marine ability that lets it run away. I feel like something like that for certain melee species could be okay. Monthhold character that happened to be saved on your Ashtawa account, CXC account, is a Draconian Earth Elementalist of Behemoth. That sounds like fun, because it's a Behemoth mage. Ooh, that is not good. Um, this Draconian Knight stepped on a salt trap and summoned the Twister in front of me. And now that Twister is gonna proceed to make it impossible for me to get out. Yes, because it's a polar vortex. In fact, that might really hurt. I'm gonna drink a potion of resistance. Yeah, that might really hurt. This thing does not stay around forever, but it is unkillable. Like, it has 12,000 HP. So, what is a twister? A whirling vortex of frost. That's what it is. It's got 12,000 HP, and it has polar vortex. Doesn't stick around for very long, but yeah, like impossible to kill. We're gonna need a potion of mana here. Kill it. Literally impossible to kill it. It's cast 12,000 HP. It's not trap exclusive. Uh, kind of. There's some bolts that place twisters. Just MCC it. I don't know if you can MCC a monster that is constantly moving you around. I think that every time you get moved by the twister, your MCC gets interrupted. The twister dissipates. Yeah, it doesn't last for very long. You know what? Maybe I should haste. Okay, we got 20 translocations. I wonder if I should do the second part of this just by walking in and casting this junction is called. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, now it's at 7%, this junction. Destabilizes the space in a sphere around the caster for a while, causing anyone nearby to blink away from the caster. The chance of blinking depends on the distance from the caster being nearly certain when directly adjacent. Very funny. Not that we need to, but I could do it. I do have to say that I feel like it's just safer to kill everything. I cannot believe that I have 192 HP as an experience level 25 deep elf. I think it's the most HP that I've ever had with a deep elf at this experience level. Forms not counting, of course. I don't want to get blinked away. I'm about to get blinked away. I didn't get blinked away. Wow, okay, let's go. No blinks. And you know what? These enemies are vulnerable to bug. So yeah, the power of bug. I also had Fulsome Fusilade active, but Bog would have killed them pretty fast even if I had no Fulsome Fusilade anyway. Beautiful. You miscast this junction. This is the first time ever that I cast a spell and I get a miscast at 7% that prevents me from moving. Delightful. Can I cast it again? Oh wow! Second miscast at 7%. It says 7% right here. Fails 7%. Why is it... Okay, third time. Third time's the charm. The power of Sot is invoked against you. Delightful. I want to move. Okay. The Orb of Fire means that I drink resistance, I drink haste. Maybe we can even drink a potion of brilliance. Oh wow, it's turning into 4 Bunny. That's really scary. I'm not liking any of this. Okay. I think it would have been a lot safer to just kill everything. Ooh, that was a Hell Sentinel. Yeah, I only saw it very briefly. Yeah, keep throwing fire enemies at me. Fire enemies I can deal with very easily since I have permafrost. Seraph. Okay, that Seraph got absolutely dominated. That was crazy. In case you didn't notice, the Seraph got killed by Fulsome Fusilade. I think it got hit by the full effect of the Fulsome Fusilades combining. So yeah, that's a second set of Pearl Scales. One of the rarest things that exists in the game, and I have 2 of. Not bad at all. Okay, Fulsome Fusilade just killed a nice fiend with a lot of ease, like in 3 turns. That was fantastic. Collector, yes. I mean, why would I not pick it up since it's so rare? Okay, we have a Panlord with Plasma Beam and Firestorm. Okay, this would be what I would blink straight to the exit if I had one. Unfortunately, I don't have that anymore. But I can use Gauskabot. There's also Hell Sentinel and Tormentor, so things are definitely not looking good here. We should haste. Ouch. Yeah, that is really scary. Oh, Torment, then Firestorm. Um, if it had been the other way around, it would have been a lot better. Firestorm, then Torment. Yeah, that's a shame. How do we not die here? See, here's the thing. I don't think this junction does a lot for me to not die here. If I had a blinking, which it's crazy that I have gone through the whole game and I saw 3 blinkings, and I wasted one, and one I had to use it, and the third one I had to use in SOT because I didn't want to kill everything because I wanted to try this junction. That was definitely a mistake. If it kills me, I'm never using this junction again. If not having that blinking to use it right now kills me, I'm never using this junction again. I was thinking heal wounds, but I think heal wounds is a terrible play. And I'm not killing all of that fast enough. Yeah, this is a really bad situation to be in, where like the only way to guarantee survival is to use blinking, but I don't have that. Yep, this might be it. There may not be a way to survive this. Here's the thing, it's so silly to be using heal wounds, considering that I just took 143 damage in one turn. What happened? The game placed in my line of sight a Panlord, a Tormentor, and a Hell Sentinel. And the Panlord has Firestorm. And so yeah, that's straight up just what happened. And my actions, since those things spawned in my line of sight, have been the following: Gale's Gabot in the direction of the stairs, then haste, and when I got hasted, the turn I hasted, I got tormented, then firestormed, and then heal wounds. And these guys haven't taken an action yet. They're gonna take an action next turn. I guess I should put on some fire resistance. I might as well just disjunction. Hope for the best. It's stupid to 3 for torment immunity. I don't think torment immunity does a lot here. Because I can just kill the tormentor easily, and then no tormentor exists. These enemies don't have torment, but they do have plasma beam and hurl damnation, iron shot. So yeah, I think it would have been an incorrect play. We might be safe now. Where's the Hell Sentinel? I think it got blinked really far away because I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna drink a potion of flight. Wait, let me check this guy's speed. 110, so it's a little bit faster than me. Right now, it is not faster than me, so I can drink my potion of flight. Just fly over this. Yes, don't firestorm me again. If you firestorm me again, I'm probably gonna die, and it's gonna be sad. Thinking if there is something to do about that. Fogu? Okay. That was so stressful. Completely unnecessarily stressful. Now get me out of here. We fun. Let's drink a potion of ambrosia. And another one. I'm also using regen. Okay, this one lasted for quite a while. Thank you. And one more. Okay, that one lasts for like no time, but that is enough. Yeah, that was stressful. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I'm not well equipped to deal with that kind of thing. Can monster just cast the same spell over and over? Yes, they can just spam it. So earlier today, I bought a bag, like a 1 kilo bag of Coca-Cola gummies. They're not quite Coca-Cola gummies; they're like cola flavored gummies. Um, because I had like a craving for those. They're gonna last me a while, like a week plus. Or I could make bags of them and sell them. Yeah, that's something that I often like to do. Whenever I have a craving for a sweet like that, I buy a big bag and I just like sate my craving, and then I sell the rest of the bag, and that way my craving is sated for effectively free. So I might do that for this bag of Coca-Cola gummies. They're quite tasty, but they are sugar coated, like sugar crystal coated, which I'm not really a big fan of. But they're flavorful. I like them. Mm, this Panlord doesn't have anything but melee, so we can just cast Disjunction, and then it is impossible for it to kill me, pretty much. Get blinked in better directions, won't you? It is petrifying. Okay, not bad. Hello, Ripophalm. Yes, you caught me on the odd run. The funny thing, you caught me right at the end. You missed the exciting part of this. Right before this, I had a situation earlier where I saw a Panlord with Farstorm, a Tormentor, and a Hell Sentinel. Like I was like standing on my way to the stairs, and they spawned in front of me. I almost died to that. It was pretty bad. In one turn, I took like 140 something damage. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but we managed to survive. And the worst part about that is that I have no blinking. This character got 3 blinkings. I re-identify one. I use one in what was it? Bolts? I think it was bolts or depths. I don't remember exactly where it was. And the last one I used in SOT 5, in the bolt. Yeah, it was super nasty, but it makes for great content at least. I didn't check the Panlord. Oh, but it doesn't matter. The Panlord is dead. But I'm happy now for that Slayer title. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay. And we are done. Let's go. Sweet. I, for a while, thought that I was dead. Like when I got hit for the 140 something damage, at that point I thought that I was dead. Fortunately, it didn't come to happen. Um, so we get to add one to the books. Yeah. Rithrin, thank you for stopping by. Let's just get out of here. And I'll play more Crawl in the near future. I do want to play more Crawl, which is pretty weird. A couple of months ago, like earlier this year, I was like, I don't want to see this game ever again. And now I'm like, that was pretty fun. I think I can go for another one. Not immediately. I think tomorrow I'll play some Streets of Rage. I still want to beat that game in the highest difficulty. And after I beat it in the highest difficulty with Floyd, I might start experimenting with other characters. Um, but definitely, I want to play a lot of Streets of Rage. Want to play some Star of Providence. I want to play some. Um, maybe Isaac. Maybe a little bit of Isaac. Isaac, however, I have to say that um, I think my interest in Isaac um, comes and goes. And now I'm in a phase where I don't particularly feel like playing a lot of Isaac. Um, but when I feel like playing Isaac, yeah, I'll play some Isaac. But for now, I think that tomorrow I'll play Streets of Rage and maybe a little bit of Star of Providence. We shall see. Um, Noita when? Oh yeah, I haven't played Noita in a good time. I could play some Noita. Um, Enon unlocked the ability to use parallel worlds. Like Enon unlocked the knowledge of parallel worlds, so that means that I can go into parallel worlds on my Noita runs now, if I feel like getting particularly powerful. Um, yeah, pretty good run, pretty enjoyable character. It's funny how like a mage can get away with being significantly less tanky um, than a melee character. Like I had much worse defenses than you would expect from a melee character, much worse resistances, but the game was pretty painless. Like there was one situation where I felt, oh, I am death, and it was like right at the end because I mean, to be completely fair, most characters would be in the same situation. Like most characters would also feel, oh, I am dead, if I um if a Panlord with Farstorm, a Tormentor, and a Hell Sentinel spawned in their line of sight during the Orb run with no uh, it was scrolls of blinking. Yeah, that was pretty bad. How much intelligence? I think I had 30 something by the end. We cannot see it there. Oh no, we can see it. Hold on. It's 39. Yeah, 39 intelligence. I was using a ring of intelligence. Was I using a ring of intelligence? Yes, for a while I was using a ring of intelligence, but I took it off for a resistance ring. And the thing that I never even thought about replacing for the whole game was a ring of protection that I got super early. Um, Well, I did think about replacing it for strength, so I could wear pearl scales, but I only found 4 scrolls of enchant armor, and I didn't really feel like wearing pearl scales with only +4 pearl scales. If I had more scrolls of enchant armor, I would have gone for the pearl scales play. But anyway, that would be it for me today. This character took me 5 hours. It was the first character ever that I started on the Steam Deck. Like the first scroll character that I started on the Steam Deck. The first part of the character that I streamed on the Steam Deck. And it was in some ways a revolutionary character for me because now I know that I can stream crawl from the Steam Deck no problem. I just need a consistent internet connection. But as long as I have the Steam Deck and a way to connect a keyboard to it, we're gonna be okay, even if this computer was to die. Um, Do you have LCD or OLED? I got my Steam Deck before OLED was revealed, so I have LCD. Um, if I can afford it, when they release a Steam Deck 2, I could consider getting the Steam Deck 2. Um, but I would consider it only if it's like a significant upgrade, like if I feel like I need it. Um, I have to say that the Steam Deck sates my needs quite well. Um, I don't really use it handheld mode that much. Whenever I want to play with it, I just connect it to a monitor. This includes whenever I'm using it at home, if for some reason I cannot do my gaming in the computer. Or if I go outside and I see family or friends, I just connect it to a TV or to a monitor, as if it was a game console, and I play like that. I almost never use the actual screen on the Steam Deck, so I don't really mind the LCD. If I used it more, I would feel like OLED would be a pretty nice thing to have. Um, but but I don't need it, so I don't feel like I want it because I don't need it. Yeah, you can look forward to Streets of Rage 4 tomorrow, and Star of Providence maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after that, and more Crawl on Thursday or Friday. Yeah, more Crawl on Thursday or Friday. Maybe on Monday if I don't feel like playing Crawl on Thursday or Friday. We shall see how it goes. But this run made me want to play more Crawl, and that's really cool. Um, so yeah. I appreciate your continued support and your interest and you being around in the chat. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you liked it. And I'll see you around. See you around. Yeah, see you around.